Today we're going to look at the distributive law. What that means is I'm going to distribute, I'm going to share things into the bracket. So we need to simplify the following expression as far as possible. X times x minus 1. All that means is we're going to distribute, we're going to share that x to both things in the bracket. So x times the first, and the x must go to the second as well. So x times x is x squared, and x times minus 1 is just minus x. Let's try example 2. 2x times 4x minus 3. All we need to do is distribute the 2x from outside to both things inside. So 2x times 4x is 8x squared, and 2x times minus 3 is minus 6x. In example 3, we've got minus 2x outside and 2x minus 3 inside. All we're going to do is multiply that minus 2 inside the bracket. We have to be careful though, because we have a minus outside and a minus inside. A minus times a minus gives me a positive. We can't forget that. So minus 2x times 2x is minus 4x squared, and minus 2x times minus 3 is plus 6x. Let's try one more example on this slide that's a little bit longer. So now we have to distribute 5x into the first bracket and minus 2x into the second bracket. Now if we distribute that 5x, we end up with 5x squared plus 15x, because 5x times 3 is 15x. Now we have to be careful with the second part because we're multiplying by a negative, so we're going to see the sign change. So minus 2x times x is minus 2x squared, and minus 2x times 4 is minus 8x. Now in this question, we just need to be careful. We still have like terms. Now remember, like terms are when your variable is exactly the same. So 5x squared and minus 2x squared are like terms. So 5x squared minus 2x squared gives me 3x squared. And then 15x and minus 8x are like terms. So 15x minus 8x gives me 7x. So just remember, once you've distributed into the bracket, you just need to add and subtract your like terms. Pause the video now so that you can copy down these 4 examples, and I want to discuss 1 or 2 more with you. Let's try a few more examples. In this example, we've got 5x times x minus 3. So we're going to multiply that 5x into the bracket. And then in the second bracket, I've got x plus 2 and then 2x outside the bracket, but it's behind the bracket. But that makes absolutely no difference. If the 2x is immediately behind the bracket, it's exactly the same as if 2x was immediately in front of the bracket. So I'm just going to multiply it in, but from the back. So 2x times 2 and 2x times x. So it makes no difference. So if we multiply that 5x into the bracket, we end up with 5x squared, and then 5x times minus 3 is minus 15x, plus 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times 2 is 4x. So whether the 2x is immediately after the bracket or immediately before the bracket, it makes no difference. Then we must remember we've got like terms. So 5x squared plus 2x squared will give me 7x squared, and minus 15x plus 4x is minus 11x. Let's look at example 6. In this example, I've just started with a minus 2x squared, so we can see how to deal with exponents a little bit. So we're going to take minus 2x squared and multiply it into the bracket. And then we've got minus 4x at the back. It's in a bracket, so all we're going to do is multiply it in. With 2 brackets immediately next to each other, it just means multiplication, so we just multiply it in. So we've got minus 2x squared times 2x. Now minus 2 times 2 is minus 4, and then x squared times x gives me x cubed. And minus 2x squared times 1 is minus 2x squared. Then that minus 4x I'm going to bring into the bracket, but remember we're going to change signs. So minus 4x times 3x is minus 12x squared, and minus 4x times 2 is minus 8x. So that minus 4x was in a bracket after the other bracket, so I multiply it in. And we've just got to remember in that first term, a minus times a plus is a minus. And now we look for our like terms. And the only two like terms we have in this expression is minus 2x squared minus 12x squared. So we end up with a final answer of minus 4x cubed. Minus 2 minus 12 gives me minus 14x squared minus 8x. Let's look at one more example. Now in this example, it looks almost exactly the same as example 6, but there's a small difference. I'll get to that now. So we're going to multiply minus 2x into the bracket, into 2x and into 1. But now we've got this minus 4x at the back, and you have to be careful. The big difference between example 6 and example 7 is in example 6, minus 4x is in a bracket, so I multiplied it in, but in example 7, minus 4x is not in a bracket. Stop, there are no brackets, so you don't multiply it in. Please look at the difference between the two. So in example 7, we're going to multiply minus 2x into the bracket, so it's minus 4x squared minus 2x, and then plus 3x plus 2, and that minus 4x is just on its own at the end. We do not multiply it in. And just be very careful again, in that first term, we've got a negative because a minus times a plus is a minus. And now we look at like terms. So we've got minus 4x squared, and then minus 2x plus 3x minus 4x will leave me with minus 3x and plus 2 at the end. So please look at the big difference between example 6 and example 7. In example 6, the minus 4x was in a bracket, which means multiplication. In example 7, there were no brackets, so no multiplication. But with example 5, I don't need brackets because it's positive. It's right next to the bracket anyway. Pause now so you can make some notes. Thanks for watching Max Maths. If you liked what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe.